Our first movie tells the story of a friendship behind prison walls that spans more than 20 years.
Welcome to a very special quarterly episode of Middlebow Madness. How do we do this again? Oh yeah, what is it? It's an exercise in podcast hubris. That's right. My name is Derek Gaday.
I'm Isabel Arf. I'm actually saying my name more consistently now to start off with, because the next information I want to have credibility for.
Okay.
I want people to know that I am not yanking their chain, as they might believe.
Very serious.
And I'm bringing them scientific information.
Oh shit! You could drop some science on us?
So you know spinach?
The vegetable?
Yeah.
The Popeye shit? Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, the very same. So it can do a lot of things. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this about spinach.
I mean, it can feed me, but that's about it.
Well, now, it can send emails that could warn us about climate change.
Spinach can send emails?
This is from Euronews.com. The headline is, "Scientists have taught spinach to send emails, and it could warn us about climate change." The first sentence, It may sound like something out of a futuristic science fiction film. No, it doesn't. No one's making science fiction films about spinach being able to email.
Well, but maybe in like 1971, but not now.
I was going to say with cool runnings. No, with silent running.
Silent running, yeah. With Bruce Dern and the robots and shit, yeah.
Yeah. But scientists have managed to engineer spinach plates which are capable of sending emails. Through nanotechnology, engineers at MIT in the US have transformed spinach into sensors capable of detecting explosive materials. These plants are able to wirelessly relay this information back to the scientists. When the spinach roots detect the presence of nitroaromatics in groundwater, a compound often found in explosives like landmines, the carbon nanotubes within the plant leaves emit a signal. The signal is then read by an infrared camera, sending an email alert to the scientists. So, I have a lot of problems with this. Number one is they did not teach spinach to send emails.
Yeah,
I got so excited when I read that title because I was like, oh shit, this is going to be big. But instead, they just put some nanochips in this fucking spinach. So you can't eat it anymore. And now it just detects landmines. And I feel like there are more efficient ways to detect landmines.
Yeah, like truffle sniffing pigs or those giant ass rats that I saw a video about one time.
Yeah, the hero rats that find all of them.
Yeah, they're so light that they can't detonate the bombs, but they can find them.
Kings, we stand. Mm-hmm. But you're wondering.
I'm wondering a lot of things.
What does this mean for humanity? Right?
Okay, wait a minute. That spinach can send email, or that random news website out in Europe can't write copy very well?
Oh, the spinach can send emails.
Oh, okay. What does it mean for humanity? What does it say to you about people? Spinach spam. It tells me that we have to brace for spinach spam.
Spinach would never send me spam emails telling me that they caught me watching pornography and they're going to send it to my dad or whatever.
No, you got a whole podcast.
That might be a reference to a previous episode, and we don't know because that was the original intro here. And then I read it to Derek, and he was like, "I think you've read this before." And now I'm too afraid to actually read it. Anyways,
hit us up if we haven't.
Hit us up in the chat if I have or have not done a bit about getting a spam email about someone recording me while I was watching pornography. Anyways, Professor Michael Strano has a lot to say about this. So he says plants are very good analytical chemists. Not really, but okay. I understand the metaphor you're going for.
I'm pretty sure you need a PhD for that.
They have an extensive root network in the soil. That's true. Are constantly sampling groundwater. Also true. And have a way to self-power the transport of the water up into the leaves. That seems disingenuous to me.
This is like a hop and a skip. This all seems like a hop, skip, and a jump away from water has memory.
This is a novel demonstration of how we have overcome the plant-human communication barrier, he adds. I don't think it really is. Derek, what do you think?
About the plant-human communication barrier?
Yeah, do you think it's been breached properly?
Well, I mean, I mean, sometimes I water a plant. Sometimes a tree grows around a wheelbarrow, and sometimes I tap a maple tree for sap in the spring. That's the extent of my communication with plants. I'm not looking to hook up, I'm not looking to smash a poison ivy or whatever.
I mean, I'd looking to smash one of those poison ivies, the one in the Batman.
Yes, I was like, I don't know if you want to do that. I think I think maybe your genitals would want you to reconsider.
God, I love whenever anyone references water memory. It's so fucking dumb.
It's my
favorite thing. If you've never heard about water memory,
that's in like the grand under the grand umbrella term of homeopathy, correct?
Yeah, homeopathy, which is the best form of pseudoscience, or like I will say this, you know, alternative medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So occasionally, some of it has some small studies to back up some sort of benefit to it. If we're looking at just the ones that don't, which is most of them, but if we're looking at just the ones that don't, I will say homeopathy is the one I'm coolest with, because at worst, you get some water.
Sure.
Actually, that's not true. At worst, a baby gets poisoned. Long story.
No. Yeah.
But in long, you can drink some water for homeopathy, and I think that's great. More people should drink water, and
well, on the scale of positive thinking to crystal healing for like non-malignant cancers, where do you place homeopathy?
I place homeopathy right more towards the crystal healing side of things, because in fact, maybe above that, because I'm not saying that hanging out near crystals isn't good for your mental health, because it is. Like, if you're constantly hanging out near crystals, you're going to be a more pleasant person to be around. Unless you hang out around them too much. There's like a barrier. There's like a tipping point where if you're always around crystals,
then you become a crystals person.
You. Exactly. But if you're on them sometimes, you're probably chill. If you're drinking a lot of water, also probably chill.
Probably.
If you are in like some $10,000 course to learn how to think your way out of having cancer, then not the best thing.
Yeah.
Reminds me that one of these days we need to talk about morgellons, because morgellons.
I was actually going to bring up morgellons because, as a sense which I never thought I would say, especially on wax. But no, I was. Sometimes I am the bearer of bad pop culture news, and sometimes that's telling someone that Joni Mitchell thinks she has morgellons. And that happened to me. That happened to me last. Wait, you don't know either?
No.
Joni Mitchell believes in morgellons, or thinks she has morgellons.
Holy shit.
Yeah, right?
I'm sorry, audience. I'm eating food, but I just needed to interrupt because I'm...
Oh, wait. Did I accidentally turn the tables?
You did. I'm genuinely shocked right now.
Hold on a second. Let me...
I just want to make sure... What the fuck?
I want to make sure that I'm not misremembering something. On the Internet Science page for Ms. Joni Mitchell, under the heading 2016 Present Health Problems Recovery and Archival Projects, first line, after the link to Joni Mitchell Archives, Mitchell has said that she has Morgellons syndrome, and in 2010 said she planned to leave the music industry to work towards giving more credibility to people diagnosed with Morgellons.
Oh no!
Yep,
Joni.
Yep,
come on.
Then she had a brain aneurysm 5 years later.
She dead? She's still alive?
What's
she up to?
She's not a whole lot. She's old as hell. She had a stroke. She's learned to walk again, according to David Crosby.
I mean, apparently she's got morgellons. That's tough.
And apparently she's got morgellons. Joni's still kicking, but people have aged more gracefully. Let's put it that way.
Now I'm trying to see if there's any other. Is she the most famous sufferer from morgellons?
I have to think that that's the case.
I'm looking right now. Who else has morgellons? Internet and media influence. Yeah, I'm just not. Yeah, chronic Lyme. I know about that. Come on now.
I'm scouring the page.
So am I.
For names, and the only name is Joni Mitchell.
Okay, well, good for everyone who isn't Joni Mitchell. Should we explain what morgellons is if anyone's fucking listening and doesn't know what we're talking about?
That's right. I know what we're talking about. You know what we're talking about. Well, I'm on the page, so I'll just read it again from the Internet Science page. Morgellons is the informal name of a self-diagnosed scientifically unsubstantiated skin condition in which individuals have sores that they believe contain fibrous materials. It's real body horror shit. Morgellons is not well understood, but the general medical consensus is that it's a form of delusional parasitosis.
Which, for those who don't know, it is when you think that like you have parasites or something underneath your skin, delusionally, like they're not actually there.
They're not actually there. The sores are typically the result of compulsive scratching, and the fibers, when analyzed, are consistently found to have originated from clothing or other textiles. Yeah.
It's not actually. Here's the problem with me. I never brought up morgellons before because I didn't have a funny angle into it. Because mostly it's just sad.
It is sad.
It is sad because it's people being taken advantage of. People with real concerns and probably who need some mental health treatment or who need actually compassionate doctors who listen to them and try to figure out what's actually going on with them. But instead, quack doctors are like, hey, I know the exact cure for this. It's probably going to be putting bleach in your asshole because that seems to be the cure for fucking everything.
In your asshole?
Yeah, have you not heard about bleach enemas?
Now that you say it like that, I think I have.
Yeah, real dark shit. If you ever want to be really sad, then learn more about bleach enemas one day. But Derek...
I know a lot of shit that I don't want to know.
We're not here to talk about bleach enemas today. That's for later.
Thank God that's the case. No,
this was supposed to be a short episode. What are we doing?
I don't know. Eagle-eyed viewers will remember that about 16-ish episodes ago, we decided to make like a signpost episode commemorating our journey through 1/4 of the first round of our bracket and 1/8 of the larger Middlebow Madness bracket. Now we've come to another signpost, another milestone. We are officially halfway through the first round, which means we are 1/4 of the way through the entire goddamn thing. So we're just going to quickly recap the action thus far from the second quarter of our bracket, and do some fun little superlatives, and that'll be that. Just so you can get up to speed, so you don't have to listen to, a lot of material, some of them involving things not identical to, but similar to morgellons and bleach enemas. I wish that was
My hands are currently covered in fire sauce because I forgot to grab paper towels, so I'm just licking fire sauce as my fingers off as you're talking, so I apologize.
Gross.
To the listeners. I probably deleted the noises because I was editing it, but maybe I didn't. In case you're hearing that, that's what it is. If you hear like slurping sounds, it's fire sauce.
Now I'm going to listen for them now. So to quickly recap the action from the second quarter of this bracket.
We should do Taco Bell based ASMR.
Isn't that just ASMR? I mean, like, does it have to be like
see, that's the rapper. That's the rapper part of it. And then let's see if we can hear me open this fire sauce. Hold on. Did you hear that?
Well, it was you hitting the mic, I think.
No, okay. Well, we all make mistakes. We're new at this ASMR gambit, but for right now, we'll put it to the side and we'll do the thing that you were talking about.
Yes.
What was that?
So I'm just going to run through the results of the second quarter of the bracket, and maybe you can like interject with like cool or that's fucked up that happened or what or whatever the hell you feel like.
I'm gonna be the hype man for you.
You're gonna be the hype man for me reading the results of this fucking bracket.
All right, Flavor Flav, but for this podcast.
Yeah.
Means in like 2 decades, I will have a very embarrassing reality show.
I'm sure there's a Taco Bell joke to be made with Flavor Flav, but I'm not the one to think of it. All right.
Yeah,
so,
when you eat Taco Bell, you better have a clock on you for your poop. I don't know. God.
Wow. Well, Derek, I didn't think of anything, so that's better than what I did.
By default, I win. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So here's how it went.
Be my Jesus Christ.
Yes. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind over Kill Bill Volume 1. Terminator Oh, what's that?
I said dope.
Dope.
Should I interject against every single one? Just wait.
Maybe just interrupt whenever you feel strongly.
Okay. Continue.
Terminator
this is a disaster.
2
We haven't recorded for like months, people. Sorry.
Yeah. It's a good thing that we're doing this as like sort of a dry run for the actual episode that we're going to record next. Terminator 2: Judgment Day defeating Catch Me If You Can. Scarface over V for Vendetta. The Silence of the Lambs over The Wizard of Oz, which was one of our more contentious episodes because I'm not the world's biggest fan of The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I had to be like the defender of positivity and happiness in that one. It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. North by Northwest over the Life of Brian, the Monty Python film. Rush over Grave of the Fireflies, which was, in my humble opinion, one of our best sort of arguments, because I think we both agreed that Grave of the Fireflies was the better movie, but we were kind of adamant that we didn't want to watch Grave of the Fireflies again. And I think we both liked Rush well enough that we didn't feel bad sort of moving it on into the 32. Or not the 32, but the 128.
Rush is dope as hell, is what I'll say.
I think Isabel actually likes Rush more than I. I mean, I think it's good, but Isabel thinks it's like a near masterpiece.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I'm also just a Ron Howard stan. Half the time he makes the worst fucking shit.
You're
half the time he makes hillbilly elegy.
This is the thing with Ron Howard. We talked about it on that episode, which is part of the reason why I think it's one of our best episodes, is that like Ron Howard has like no style, but he also has sort of he has kind of erratic taste, because sometimes he'll get like a Rush or even an Apollo 13, which is a kind of a Carpentry, not John Carpentry, but kind of like sturdy, sort of crowd pleasing, just studio film. It's like the perfect 3.5-star film, or you get fucking The Grinch or whatever. Or In the Heart of the Sea, which I have not seen, but you're a great fan of. Or sometimes you get like The Grinch.
In the Heart of the Sea is one removal of a like framing story away from being a masterpiece.
Okay, so if you were to edit that, you would take out the frame story and it'd be like a perfect movie.
Yeah, and just like as long as you take that out, you're good.
Have you ever seen Master and Commander? The
Far Side of the World? I sure have. Yeah. That film's dope as fuck.
I think that's a movie I would really like. I've never seen that movie, and I think I should watch it. I feel like that's
fucking good. Like, I think it's very much a Derek movie.
I was gonna say it feels like a Derek movie.
And yeah, it's a movie that didn't get much love because it's a movie about like fucking ships and it looks boring as hell. It's not. It's basically about like the sea change, if you pardon the pun, the sea change between like different eras in history and the relationship of like nation to action. It's really good. That's my opinion on Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World. You should watch it if you're listening to this podcast. It's better than Rush, I'll say that.
We have 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri over Downfall. That was kind of a lugubrious matchup.
What a slog.
It was rough. The Handmaiden over Fight Club, which I think is correct but feels bad.
Yeah,
because David Fincher is going to get shut the fuck out around 2.
Which is weird. Okay, if they would have put fucking Zodiac on this list, like normal people, then we'd be fine. But
I think Zodiac is not the people's favorite. I mean, it's our favorite because we're fucking dorks, but I don't think it's the people's favorite. People probably like Mank better than Zodiac.
I'm never gonna see Mank. I feel like that is my life.
I'll probably sit down and watch it like this summer, like after the Oscars. Because it's like nominated for like 10 Oscars.
Yeah, but I never have had Netflix. Well, I think I had it like 10 years ago. So I have no easy way to access it. It's not the kind of thing I would go out of my way to access. So it's just...
I'm on the parents' account.
Oh, very lucky for you. Actually, no, I wouldn't even watch it then. Like I'm very, I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, what am I going to watch? I'll just find something. It's like, no, I'm going to watch something specific. I have a goal, and my goal is to do X, Y, and Z. So we're going to shoot towards that. Goal.
Not to further open a parenthesis in what's supposed to be like a short episode, but I think this is an opportunity to kind of stretch and talk about things that we wouldn't normally talk about.
Yeah, sure.
As far as like, I have struggled my entire life with sort of guiding my watching habits, which was really easy to do like in grad school because you just fucking watch what was on the syllabus and you just go out to the movies all the time. And it's like, that's easy money because you got like, you work 20 hours a week and you watch movies at school. So what are you going to do with the rest of your time? Go to fucking movies. But now, and like, since I graduated, I've found it very difficult to sort of organize my viewing in such a way that I don't feel burdened by just the infinite fucking choice that I have. And now with this podcast, it kind of sort of, things get kind of channeled in a specific way. So I've got this channel, which incidentally allows me to hit a lot of my blind spots. I've got this sort of other project, or not a project, but I've got like, I do like these movie drafts with my friends, and it's like, okay, what movies from this year are we taking? And that kind of hones in on another thing. And I think my failure before was that I was still trying to organize it by like year because I was trying to keep up with like the end of like the end of year sort of list season, but now I'm like out of the critic game, so I don't feel like I have to, a bit to your point, I don't feel like I have to see the big releases, so I can kind of go on my own. Like I've watching movies at my own pace for my own sort of esoteric reasons has not only yielded good fruit in the sense that I've watched a bunch of movies that I like, but also I've been able to watch more movies because it feels less daunting. It's weird.
No, I completely get what you mean. I think that like, I'm very happy to not like be trying to watch enough movies to make year-end lists anymore. Because holy shit, was that a lot of pressure. Like, it was very much like, oh shit, I gotta watch that movie, but like, I don't want to, but if I don't watch it, then my list is not going to be complete or whatever like that. And it was like, oh, I got to sideline all these movies that I actually want to watch because I have to watch a bunch of these movies that I'm pretty sure I won't like. And that sucked. For me, it's really like mood-based, like based on what I'm kind of looking for. I essentially have different styles of films set up for that. Like I always have a couple found footage movies on hand that I haven't watched before, if that's something I'm looking for, which that's usually the thing I'll reach for just because I love found footage horror movies, and they're an easy thing to throw on and not think about. I also agree this podcast has been super good at getting me to focus on shit, because otherwise I would never have watched like The Third Man, for example.
Which is weird because that's like sort of a film nerd like banger. It's in Criterion. It's got Orson Welles in it. You know.
That's why I didn't want to watch it. I was like, everyone already knows this movie's good. What am I going to add to it? Like, there's nothing interesting for me. Like, if I recommend someone, hey, have you seen The Third Man? There's nothing interesting about that. And it's not so much that I'm trying to be like super unique. It's just more that if I'm watching a movie, partially it's for me, obviously. Partially it's also like, hey, if I like this, I can tell other people about it. And I still have enough people kind of around me in social media that if I tell people, hey, watch X movie, a lot of people will do it, which is very nice. Also very humbling in a lot of ways. So I'm more interested in seeking out the weird shit and being like, hey, you've never heard of this. Watch it, maybe. That's more interesting to me than being like, hey, have you heard of Diabolique? It's pretty good. You should probably watch it.
I think our kind of cinephile bubble ruins our sense of perception.
That is true.
If, like, to use the example of The Third Man, if it's like, okay, so I know that The Third Man is considered one of the great movies, but I've not seen it, so part of it is like it's for my own edification. But also, there's always going to be someone in your circle of dorks that's not seen The Third Man.
Yeah, but then there's probably going to be like 10 people who haven't like seen, you know, X other movie, like When You're Lost in the Rain or something like that. When I'm looking at my most recent diary stuff, which is great. Watch When You're Lost in the Rain. It's a short film by, I believe it's Sky Hopina. Sky Hopinka, who is a native filmmaker who does really, really good experimental work, but that's still very approachable. And there's one part in that film where there's a reading of the poem Pioneers, O Pioneers in one extreme side of the audio space, and there's an interview with someone in the other extreme side talking about like their experiences. And slowly over like the course of this part, they switch places. And then a middle, for a little bit in the middle, they're just competing with each other and you can't understand either of them. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Highly recommended work just in general. Sky Hopinka is really good artist. See, I get to do stuff like that instead of being also, like, hey, The Godfather, pretty good flick.
But I can do that same, I guess it depends on the circles you're in, but I can do that exact same spiel with The Third Man, right?
I mean, sure, I guess.
I got like normie buds who are not like sort of like we're not like dorks about it like we are.
I guess the difference is that like I don't really talk about movies with my normie people, so like I wouldn't have chances to do that. I pretty much only talk about movies with like dorks. Sure. Or I'll post about them online, and online is nothing but dorks. That's why we're online. So,
all right, back to whatever the hell this was. Oh yeah, so 2001: A Space Odyssey over Finding Nemo, which is not fair to Finding Nemo at all.
So, it's the best Pixar film. I feel weird saying that, but I guess it's true.
I don't know if I agree with that, but we know about you and Pixar.
And we'll watch a bunch of other fucking ones later in the fucking podcast.
Those movies.
We got to watch The Incredibles 2. We got to watch Up. We got to watch Toy Story 1 and 3. I don't think 2 is on the list.
Oh no,
it's just gonna be miserable. Anyways, not to be a wet blanket.
Our defender of joy, everybody. Blade Runner 2049 over The Intouchables. The Intouchables, I should say, not The Untouchables. The Untouchable's not on this list. Wild Strawberries over Snatch. La Haine over The Usual Suspects. Das Boot over Platoon. The Wages of Fear over The Lives of Others. Heat over Judgment at Nuremberg. Dog Day Afternoon over The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King.
I will say that next round matchup, Dog Day Afternoon versus Heat, is one of the ones I'm most excited for because they're
Double Pacino!
The same genre that are doing it from very, very, very different angles.
That's right. Double Pacino, yes. Sunrise over Amadeus. Gladiator over Hashi, A Dog's Tale. I don't know if we're going... I don't know. This was like I try to be pretty even keeled on the show, but Hashi, A Dog's Tale turned out to be my fucking. That turns out that Hashi, A Dog's Tale was my fucking berserker button. I was like the most pissed off I've been on this show.
I remember at the end of that discussion, I almost started pushing for Hachi to win over Gladiator, and I thought you were going to kill me.
Which is insane. I mean, listen, I know why that movie's on that list, but it's a dog shit movie. Pardon the pun. Who won between... Oh, no, I think it was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade versus Room. There's not a winner listed, but I think it was Room.
Yeah, that's when I was making the updates, I didn't remember if Room or Indiana Jones won, but it was Room, right?
Yeah, it was, because in the next episode, we're going to do Raiders against Nausicaa, and it's going to be a good one. I can feel it. The Matrix over The Help, fucking
maybe the easiest decision.
I think so. M over How to Train Your Dragon. Memento over Spotlight. Yojimbo over The Seventh Seal. Before Sunset. That is
the hardest one of this whole thing.
Yeah, Yojimbo versus Seventh Seal is that's 9.5 stars, 10 stars in those two films. Before Sunset over Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Gran Torino over To Kill a Mockingbird. Psycho over La La Land. The Kid over Gone with the Wind. The Green Mile over Diabolique, which I let this happen.
You did. And it was the correct decision.
We talked about it.
I think it might win over The Kid. I think it's a better movie than The Kid.
That's wild. Maybe in terms of...
we'll get there in 3 years.
Yeah, we'll get there. Rang de Basanti over Witness for the Prosecution. Amir Khan remains undefeated, I suppose.
No, he, Stars on Earth lost.
Like Stars on Earth. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, though.
Yeah.
To quote Meatloaf. Stalker over Coco. I believe, and from here they're not listed, but I think it was The Third Man over Asanzi and The Godfather over Close Up. Am I correct? I think that was it.
If people are listening to this, then you have already heard the result of this matchup. I'm currently editing it, and I don't remember. I know that we like all of these movies.
That's right. I think Third Man and Godfather won.
I'm pretty sure The Third Man won because, what do you call it? I think I was I said everything I had to say on Incendies, so that's it.
Yeah, Old Dan, yeah. You went long on Incendies. You had a whole pet theory about it.
Since you wanted to move The Godfather forward, Close Up automatically lost, so.
That's right. So I think it's Third Man and Godfather that won those last 2 matches. And now, dear listener, you are up to speed with our bullshit. You now know how half of the round 2 bracket looks like. Now, if our previous timetable is to be believed, the rest of this bracket is going to take us until 2024 to finish, before we hit round 2, actually. So
to be fair, this is a shorter break than we've had in the past, specifically because that was on purpose, and I didn't run myself till I was burnt out. I didn't run myself till I was almost burnt out. And now that I'm at my new store, because there was a whole thing that happens in my personal life, I'm more settled there, and I have a much better routine each day, and I'm not fucking overwhelmed all the time. So,
which is good.
I think we're starting off way better, and we're much more likely to keep going this time.
With another 128 movies.
I like to think of us as like a baby bird who's learning to fly. You got to try a bunch of times before you actually lift off.
Holy moly!
And you're probably still going to fall a couple more times.
Some of these pairings are absurd. Oh God!
The Great Dictator versus Mad Max Fury Road. It's a pretty good.
That's rough. That's coming right up.
Oh shit! I get to watch Paris, Texas finally. Paris, Texas has been sitting on my shelf for 5 years.
Paris, Texas was I'll say this now because it's not relevant to whether or not It's not relevant to like the inherent qualities of that film, but I first saw Paris, Texas when I was in college. I was 17 years old, and I didn't know that a movie could be that beautiful. Let's put it that way. I have a very big, very soft spot in my heart for Paris, Texas.
I'm excited. It's got Harry Dean Stanton, right?
Harry Dean Stanton, that's right.
King.
Great performance.
So should we do our superlatives?
Yeah, let's like I only got a couple. I got the basic. I got two basic ones. I've got I've got favorite new to me, and I've got favorite rewatch.
Okay, I have a bunch set up, but I only have to do some of those. They were like I wasn't sure how many you'd get, so I said a shitload. So I have best new to me, best rewatch, and then two other categories that we'll get to when we get to.
I mean, I could try to like off the dome the other ones, but anyway. My favorite first time watch of our second quarter was Mathieu Kassovitz Lying, which I feel like is something that I should have seen when I was way younger and way hungrier about that specific flavor of movie, but I was very glad to catch it when I did. It's a film of incredible dynamism. It's a film of it's a great story. It's great filmmaking, and I like a movie that's clearly like a homage to a bunch of other movies, but that is clearly speaking its own language. Because this is clearly Do the Right Thing. This is clearly Taxi Driver. This is clearly a couple things. But I had a lot of fun with it, and as much you can have fun with a movie that kind of like dark.
Yeah, it's very. It never stops. Like it's just energetic the entire time. Just keeps barreling forward. I really liked it quite a bit. I think you liked it even more than me. I'm excited to revisit it. I'll be honest. Now that I kind of know more of what the contours of it look like.
Yeah, it's a very galvanizing piece of cinema, and I was very, very happy to watch it.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite?
If I say my best new to me, I think it's both a surprise and not a surprise. It's a surprise to me looking like if I was looking back on this in the past or forward on this in the past, whereas like now it's just obvious. It's Before Sunset. Like not even close. Yeah. I like adore that movie. I think about it like I still think about it like all the time. Like at least like once a week I'll think about Before Sunset, which I love. Like I love the fact that like this fucking bracket completely changed my view on this movie that I was expecting to like really fucking hate.
It added some shading to your opinion of one Richard Linklater.
It had some light to my like feeling on Richard Linklater, because before it was just a pitch black dungeon I threw a bunch of shit in. Whereas now I'm like, hey, let's get some of that shit out of there. Not all of it, but a little bit of it. And yeah, Before Sunset I still think is like incredibly beautiful, like almost like overwhelmingly beautiful.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I even had like a category on my superlatives that was biggest surprise that wasn't Before Sunset.
Sure.
Because that one's pretty obvious. And that was Rush for what it's worth, just because I didn't expect what it was, but it's not even close to the same surprise as Before Sunset. Great movie. I can't wait until Criterion has their next half off sale so I can get the box set with all three and finally watch Before Midnight, because I'm pretty sure I will sob watching that.
Yeah, I'm putting that off because I don't think I'm ready for it. I don't think I've got the emotional fortitude for it.
What about your best rewatch?
My best rewatch, it was a lot. This was a hotly contested category because there's a lot of masterpieces in this section of the bracket. I don't want to telegraph who I think is going to win the whole thing, even though I think we all know who I think is going to win the whole thing.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say that one.
So I'm going to say Yojimbo.
Oh,
I think the best matchup of round one, as far as the quality of both films, is Yojimbo v. Seventh Seal. Ingmar Bergman did very well in this section of the bracket, but Akira Kurosawa owns fucking bones. And, like, because I hadn't seen Yojimbo in a while, and to go back, and it's like a perfect movie. There's not a hair out of place on it. Toshiro Mifune is the GOAT. It's fucking fantastic. It was a blast to revisit. Whenever I list out my list of favorite directors, I always feel like I shortchange Kurosawa because I've not seen a bad Kurosawa film. So I'm going to go with Yojimbo as my favorite rewatch.
I mean, that completely makes sense. Obviously, like I was more on the Seventh Seal side of that discussion, but at the same time, like There's a lot of matchups on this bracket where like something went forward that I didn't personally agree with. Where I'm like, I wish the thing I'm a little sad the thing I wanted didn't move forward. But like,
sure.
I can't be mad at Yojimbo. Like that's fine. Like Yojimbo is such a fucking great movie. Like I can't be like, why didn't Seven Seal win? Like no, it's fucking Yojimbo. We're good.
It's good.
Yeah.
So what about you? What was your favorite rewatch?
It was Stalker. Like pretty hands down.
Oh yeah, of course.
Tarkovsky is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. We're going to be talking about my favorite movie of his later up in the bracket. And I will make an impassioned plea for, which I don't think I'll need to. I think you also like that movie quite a bit, Solaris. But
which movie is Solaris? Yes, of course. One of my
Solaris
top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Fun fact, it was the first Criterion movie I ever bought.
Oh, you never forget your first. Mine was Two Lane Blacktop.
Oh, okay. Hey, my dad's going to hate that, but hey.
Yeah, I know how your dad feels about Two Lane Blacktop, and he's still fucking wrong.
Yeah. I will say a couple of the other like little superlatives I had ready to go. So, largest disparity between good movie that made me sob and bad movie that made me sob is obviously Grave of the Fireflies and Hashi: A Dog's Tale. Because
yes, I would concur.
Both movies made me cry my eyes out. But Grave of the Fireflies is real fucking great. Like
mm-hmm.
It's real fucking... I don't need to defend Grave of the Fireflies. Everyone knows. I'm sure you've seen it. And Hashi was just fucking awful. And didn't even look like a movie that would be released in theaters.
Yeah, it looks like straight to cable.
Like a Hallmark movie, yeah.
Hallmark movie, exactly.
Yeah, which is not to disparage Hallmark movies exactly, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, Charles Burnett made a couple Hallmark movies. And his also
it looks
like
flimsy.
Yeah.
It looks flimsy is what we're saying.
And then biggest waste of Ryan Gosling was Blade Runner 2049. I don't think there were any other options for people to waste Ryan Gosling.
I'm on record as thinking that movie fucking rules. And you've got Complicated Feelings.
Sure,
to put it
we'll
very
say that.
gently.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we'll get to talk about it again because it did move forward because it was going up against something else very bad, if I remember correctly.
Ah, God, what is it?
It went up against The Untouchables. So yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. It's going to lose in the next round. 100%.
Hey, maybe I changed my mind on it. I won't, but maybe I do. Anyways, I can always use a veto.
I will use every veto I have if you want to fucking nerf 2001 in round 2. That's insane.
I'm probably not going to do that. But movie I am least excited to talk about for a second time, it's got to be Three Billboards. Like, holy shit, Derek. I'm dreading watching that. I've already seen it twice now because I watched it once the year it came out and I watched it for this podcast. I fucking hate that movie so much. Here's the thing. I'll say Blade Runner 2049, I think, is a movie that I dislike more, but at least there's stuff going on in it and it's pretty. Whereas Three Billboards is just
detective story.
A flat, like, shit sandwich. Not even a flat shit sandwich. More like you just put a bunch of, like, oatmeal into, like, a pig trough and just like let it sit out for 3 days and decide, hey, here's what we got for dinner tonight. How do you feel about it?
This is the thing. And I'm sure we talked about it whenever we did our Three Billboards episodes. Like, I don't dislike Three Billboards. I don't think it's a great movie, but there's something about it. Maybe I just like the people who are in it. Maybe I just like the sort of like overwrought purpleness of it. Maybe I do find an appeal in things that take themselves so seriously that it comes out looking really stupid. Because this is not like a smart movie. It's not an incisive movie. It's like Tennessee Williams for stupid people. But if we're going to watch
Tennessee Williams for stupid people, we should have watched The Paperboy. That movie is Tennessee Williams for stupid people, and it owns. You get to watch Nicole Kidman pee on Zac Efron. Dope.
Yeah. I mean...
that I will tell people, that's not a very good movie, but you should definitely watch it. It's high quality.
Is it? I mean, I guess I get to see Frances McDormand swear a bunch. I mean, that's all right. I don't know if it could sidle up to Nicole Kidman pissing on a guy, but any guy,
let alone Zac Efron.
Remember
when Zac Efron was a thing? Is he still a thing? Is he still alive? He's still alive.
He's still alive. I think he had some substance abuse issues, and he's still working. But the comeback will be sweet. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha. I am checking out his personal life section. What? Hold on.
Yeah, like DUIs and fucking...
I wasn't really looking at that. But I mean,
allegedly. I mean, I don't know for sure.
I mean, it's not allegedly. It is actually like.
Oh, okay.
But that was in like 2013, 2014. Here's a newer thing. In December 2019, Efron contracted a serious and potentially life-threatening illness, a form of typhoid, while filming his adventure series Killing Zac Efron in Papua New
Guinea. He's like Bear Grylls now. He's Bear Grylls now.
Oh, that's something. Did you ever see the video of Zac Efron was at a like EA event at like E3 one year, and it was him and Jamie Foxx, and they're both clearly out of their fucking minds high.
Like just wrecked.
Like
just obliterated.
It's something. Look up if anyone can find it. Like the E3 footage with Jamie Foxx and Zac Efron, to see people be extremely wasted trying to talk about Call of Duty. Great stuff.
I could just get the homies on the horn to do that.
But so anyways, Derek was saying 3 Billboards is going to be The Handmaiden. I
don't think it's going to be The Handmaiden. That's like a legit masterpiece. That's one of the sexiest movies I've ever seen.
Okay. I, to be fair, I watch a lot of pornography from my other podcasts, so I've seen a lot of the sexy films that people love so much.
Insofar as we're considering non-pornographic films.
Okay, sure. I mean, there's that. There's The Thing, which we'll talk about when we get to The Thing.
I mean, that seems like an Isabel pet project, because I don't get hot and bothered by The Thing.
Well, you will. Everyone will after they hear my theories about The Thing and its homoerotic tensions and how good tentacles are. I mean, we'll get it. We'll get to it.
Okay. I won't blow up your spot right now.
I will explain exactly why The Thing is just porn.
Ludicrous.
Fun fact: I'll probably edit this part of the podcast, but I know Julie knows me super well because today she had to have a tooth extracted, and she sent me a text saying that she was doing okay. And then she said, "I also got a picture of like the tooth after they pulled it out, and I know you like gross stuff. Do you want to see that?" And I was like, "Absolutely, show it to me right now." So I got to see that. It was definitely gross, and I appreciated that she thought of me. That's romance. That's love.
I suppose.
Yeah, it's knowing someone well.
Yeah, it's like, there are a few things more romantic than I saw this and thought of you. Sometimes that thing is a fucking recently extracted tooth. But, who might have judged? On that note, question mark, I guess it's plugs.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so if you're a fan of whatever the fuck this is, you can hit the show up on Twitter at middlebrowpod. You can hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Derek_G. Isabel is at SpaceJamFan. We are both on Letterboxd at those same handles. Join the Middlebrow Madness Discord. Rate us, review us on Apple Podcasts and every place where good podcasts and bad podcasts and podcasts that are okay are sold. You can send us an email at middlebrowmadness@gmail.com. Send us all sorts of shit. And I think that's everything. Well, listen to the other shows on the noisespace.xyz network. Isabel's got another show with your friend and mine, and probably the listeners as well, because this is a small universe we operate in. One Bar Keen called For a Good Time. It's about porno and porno, etc., I guess. And
yeah, we're going to talk about some wild shit in the coming episodes. I'm doing research for one of the episodes. I'm actually interviewing people. Let's just say there's some stuff coming up. Anyways,
and at the risk of being reductive, there's some weird shit coming down the pike.
I think that's fair to say. But until next time, I say it. I've been Isabel Arf.
Yep. And I've been Derek Goddard. Have movies and be jolly.
Have movies, be jolly. Good night, folks.
Good night.